Hello everyone, it's Glenda and welcome back to my channel, Creative Grandma. Today's crochet tutorial is for the blooming flower blanket. This is a beautiful pattern on Premier's website. Look how pretty. So this video, I'm going to walk you step by step on how to make this gorgeous blanket. Now I'll put a link directly to the free pattern and I'll put a link directly to the puzzle yarn if you want to make this blanket. Now this blanket here was made with the color Seashore, but I decided to make my blanket using the purple color Hide and Seek. So here's the one that I made. Now mine is just a little bit bigger. Mine come out to be 59 inches. So beautiful, done in the Hide and Seek in the purple color. So let me tell you everything you're going to need to make this blanket today. So to make this blanket, you are going to need 5 skeins of the Premier puzzle yarn. This yarn comes in a 328 yard skein, 300 meters, 7 ounces, 200 grams. It's 100% acrylic. It's classified as a number 5 bulky weight yarn. It's machine wash, cold, tumble dry. So really nice that it's machine wash and dryable. And the color I am using is Hide and Seek color 1050-48. And again, that is this purple color. So 5 skeins of the Hide and Seek. Or if you want to make the blue one, you can use the color Seashore, color 1050-52. Or you can choose any one of the beautiful colors of the Premier puzzle yarn. You're also going to need a size 10.5K or 6.5 crochet hook. So grab your yarn, grab your hook, and let's get our project started. Now this is a free pattern on Premier's website, and Premier Yarn has given me special permission to do a tutorial for this pattern. So let's go over the pattern we're going to make today. This pattern was designed by Liz Salazar for Premier Yarns. The finished measurements is 56 inches in diameter. It gives you the gauge where when you work your first 3 rounds, it should measure 4.5 inches in diameter. The materials you're going to need for this blanket is the Premier Yarns puzzle yarn. Now this design here is made in the color Seashore, color 1050-52. For my crochet tutorial, I am using this beautiful purple color. I am using the color Hide and Seek, color 1050-46. You're also going to need a US size K 10.5. Now this says 10, but it's a 10.5. 6.5 millimeter or size needed to obtain gauge. It also gives you a list of the different stitches we're going to be using in this pattern. We're using the chain stitch, the slip stitch, half double crochet, and double crochet stitches. We're also going to be doing a front post double crochet and working in joined rounds. And what I like is they also give you a diagram. If you have trouble reading instructions, but you can read diagrams, then the diagram is included in the free pattern. And again, I'll put the link that will take you directly to this pattern on Premier Yarns, and you can print that out and follow along with the crochet tutorial. So first, we're going to go ahead, take our yarn, and attach it to our hook. So I already attached my yarn to my hook and I just used a double knot. You can use whichever method you prefer to join your yarn to your hook. To begin our blanket, first it's going to show you the stitch guide. A small cluster is 3 double crochet into the indicated stitch, and a large cluster is 5 double crochet in the indicated stitch. Now don't let that scare you. I'm going to walk you step by step through this pattern. The pattern notes say this blanket is crocheted from the center out and join round. So we are starting in the very center of the blanket, and it's telling us to chain 4 and then join with a slip stitch to the first chain to join a ring. So we already have our yarn attached to the hook, so we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to skip the first 3 chains into the 4th chain, insert your hook, and then slip stitch through that chain and through the loop on your hook. So now we made a ring, and we're going to work all of our stitches right in the center of that ring. So we're going to begin, and we're going to chain 3. Again, this beginning chain 3 will count as the first double crochet. Then we're going to work 9 double crochet into the center of the ring. Yarn over, insert into the center of the ring, yarn over, and pull through. You have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. You just made a double crochet. So that is 1 of 9. Now we're going to work 8 more double crochet into the center of that ring. So that's 1 double crochet into the center of the ring. That's 2 double crochet into the center of the ring. That's 3, and now I'm just going to count my stitches. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And what I like to do is I like to crochet over this beginning end, and then I can just pull that tight and make that center ring smaller. So now it's telling us to join in the top of that beginning chain 3. So count up 1, 2, 3. I know this is a little hard to see because it's dark yarn. Insert your hook into the top chain, yarn over, pull through that stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. Round 1 is finished. So we're going to chain 3 to begin round 2. And then we're going to work 2 more double crochet into this same joining stitch. Yarn over, insert into that same stitch, and work 2 double crochets. 1, and 2. Now we're going to work 3 double crochet in each stitch around. Go to your next stitch, yarn over, insert into the top of that stitch under the top 2 loops, work 3 double crochets. 1, back into that same stitch, work your second double crochet, and then back into that same stitch, work your third double crochet. Let's do the repeat again. Into the next stitch, work 3 double crochets. 1, back into that same stitch, work your second double crochet, and then back into that same stitch, work your third double crochet. So let's do it again. Into your next stitch, work 3 double crochet, going under the top 2 loops. 1, into that same stitch, work your second double crochet, and into that same stitch, work your third double crochet. And that is the end of the repeat. So go ahead and continue, work 3 double crochet in each stitch around, and I'll meet you at the end of round 2. I'm over at the end of round 2. You should have a total of 30 stitches around. Now it's telling us to join with a slip stitch to the top of that beginning double crochet. So remember that beginning chain 3 is counted as the first double crochet. Count up 1, 2, 3, insert into that top chain, and then slip stitch through that chain and through the loop on your hook. Round 2 is finished. So to begin round 3, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and this beginning chain 3 counts as the first double crochet. Now the instructions tell us to double crochet into the next stitch, yarn over, go to your next stitch, insert under the top 2 loops, work a double crochet. We're going to front post double crochet around this next stitch, yarn over, bring your hook to the front of your work, go to that next stitch, insert onto the side of the stitch on the right side, front to back, and then from back to front on the left side, so your hook's just underneath the post of that stitch, then yarn over, pull underneath and around. You have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. Now we're going to work a double crochet into the same double crochet as the front post double crochet. So you really need to move that stitch over, come behind the stitch, and then work a double crochet into the top of that same stitch that you worked around the post of the stitch. So now we're ready to begin our repeat. We're going to double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So when you're looking at your work, just make sure that you're going into the next stitch. Double crochet into the next stitch, going under the top 2 loops. Double crochet into the next stitch. Then we're going to work a front post double crochet around the post of this next stitch. Yarn over, insert from front to back, back to front. You're just going under the post of that stitch. Yarn over, pull underneath and around. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Then you just want to slide that stitch over, and we're going to work a double crochet into the top of that same stitch behind your front post double crochet. Yarn over, insert under the top 2 loops of that same stitch, work your double crochet. And that is the end of the repeat. Let's do the repeat again. We're going to work 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. Double crochet into the next stitch, going under the top 2 loops. Double crochet into the next stitch, and then you're going to front post double crochet around the post of the next stitch. Yarn over, insert from front to back, back to front. You're just going underneath the post of that stitch. Yarn over, pull underneath and around. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And then you're going to pull that front post double crochet forward, and we're going to work a double crochet into the top of that same stitch where you worked the front post double crochet. Yarn over, insert into the top of that stitch, work a double crochet. And that is the end of the repeat. Let's do it one more time together. Double crochet into the next stitch, double crochet into the next stitch. We're going to front post double crochet around the post of the next stitch. Yarn over, insert from front to back, back to front. You're going underneath the post of that stitch. Yarn over, pull underneath and around. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Then we're going to pull that stitch forward and work a double crochet into the top of that same stitch that you worked the front post double crochet around. And that is the end of the repeat. So go ahead and continue around, and I'll meet you at the end of round 3. I'm over at the end of round 3. This is what your work should look like, and you should have a total of 40 stitches. You should have 30 double crochet and 10 front post double crochet around. So now we're ready to join. So we're going to go up and we're going to join in the top of that beginning chain 3, count up 1, 2, 3, insert into that top chain, yarn over, pull through that chain, and pull through the loop on your hook. Round 3 is finished. Now I know this yarn is dark, but if you look close, you can see the texture of those front post double crochet stitches. Now we're ready to begin round 4. To begin round 4, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and this beginning chain 3 counts as the first double crochet. Now we're going to work 2 more double crochet into this same stitch. Yarn over, insert into that same joining stitch, work 2 double crochets. 1, double crochet back into that same stitch. and 2. So you're going to have your beginning chain 3 and 2 double crochet all into that very first joining stitch. Now we're ready to begin our repeat. We're going to double crochet into the next stitch. Then you're going to see your front post double crochet, which is raised up. We're going to yarn over, insert from front to back, back to front. We're just going underneath the post of that front post stitch, yarn over, pull underneath and around, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. Your front post double crochet is made. We're going to go to our next stitch and work a double crochet into the top of the next stitch. Then we're going to work a small cluster, and all that is 3 double crochet into the next stitch. Which, why they just didn't write 3 double crochet in the next stitch, I'm not sure. 2 and 3. And that is the end of the repeat. Let's do it again. Double crochet into the next stitch. Front post double crochet around the post of that next front post double crochet. Double crochet into the top of the next stitch, and then work a small cluster of 3 double crochet into the top of that next stitch. 1, 2, and 3, and that is the end of the repeat, and you can see how your pattern is forming. So let's do it one more time together. You're going to double crochet into the top of the next stitch, front post double crochet around the post of the next front post double crochet, double crochet into the top of the next stitch, and then work 3 double crochet, which is called a small cluster, into the next stitch. Yarn over, insert into the next stitch, and work 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And that is the end of the repeat. So go ahead and continue. Double crochet into the next stitch, front post double crochet around this next front post double crochet into the next stitch, and work 3 double crochet into the next stitch. Repeat that around, and I'll meet you at the end of round 4. I'm over at the end of round 4. We have a partial repeat to go, so I just did my last full repeat, ending with 3 double crochet. So to end the round, we are going to start the repeat. We're going to work a double crochet into the top of the next stitch. Then we're going to work a front post double crochet around the post of this next front post double crochet, yarn over, insert from front to back, back to front. You're going underneath the post of that stitch, yarn over, pull underneath and around, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. We have 1 stitch remaining, and again, I'm so sorry, this yarn is really dark. You have 1 stitch remaining, and we're going to end by putting a double crochet into the top of this last stitch. And then we're just going to come over and join in the top of that beginning chain 3. Count up 1, 2, 3, insert into the top of that chain, yarn over, pull through that chain, and pull through the loop on your hook. So at the end of round 4, you're going to have a total of 60 stitches around. So now we're ready to begin round 5. For round 5, we're going to begin with the chain 2, 1, 2, and again that beginning chain 2 counts as the first half double crochet. We're going to work a small cluster into the next stitch, which means 3 double crochet. You're going to yarn over, insert into the top of that next stitch, going under the top 2 loops, work 3 double crochets. 1, back into that same stitch, work your second double crochet, and back into the same stitch, work your third double crochet. So you're going to have 3 double crochet all into that same stitch. We're going to work a half double crochet into the next stitch, yarn over, insert into the next stitch under the top 2 loops, yarn over, pull through. You have 3 loops, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. You just made a half double crochet. We're going to skip this next double crochet, and we're going to work a front post double crochet around the next front post double crochet. Yarn over, skip that next stitch, insert from front to back, back to front underneath that front post double crochet, yarn over, pull underneath and around, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. You just made your front post double crochet. We're going to skip this next stitch and work a half double crochet into the next stitch. And that is the end of the repeat. And I know this is really hard to see. I really love the purple, but it's really hard to film with this darker color. So hopefully you can see everything I'm doing. So let's go ahead and do the repeat again. We're going to start the repeat by working a small cluster into this next stitch. So I'm just going to pull my stitches apart so you can see them better. We worked in this stitch, and to start the repeat, we're going into the top of the next stitch, and we're going to work 3 double crochet, which is classified as a small cluster. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to half double crochet into the top of the next stitch. We're going to skip the next double crochet, and we're going to work a front post double crochet around the post of this next front post double crochet. Yarn over, skip that next double crochet, insert from front to back, back to front underneath the post of that front post double crochet. Yarn over, pull underneath and around, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. You just made your front post double crochet. We're going to skip this next stitch and work a half double crochet into the next stitch. And that is the end of the repeat. And you can see how your repeat is forming. So let's do the repeat one more time together. Into the next stitch, you're going to work a small cluster, which is 3 double crochet all into that same next stitch. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to half double crochet into the top of the next stitch. We're going to skip the next stitch, and into the next stitch we're going to work a front post double crochet. Yarn over, skip the next stitch, insert from front to back, back to front underneath the post of that front post double crochet, yarn over, pull back through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. We're going to skip the next double crochet, and into the top of the next stitch work a half double crochet. And that is the end of the repeat. So go ahead and continue. You're going to start the repeat into the next stitch by working 3 double crochet. Then you're going to work a half double crochet into the next stitch, skip the next stitch, front post double crochet around this next front post double crochet, then skip the next stitch, and half double crochet into the next stitch. you're going to end your repeat by skipping the last stitch. You will not work the last half double crochet of the last repeat. So I'm going to work around until I have one repeat to go, and I'll be back and show you how to finish the round. I'm over near the end of round 5. I have one partial repeat to go. So when you work and have one front post double crochet left, then that is the last partial repeat we're going to do. So let's go ahead and do the last repeat together. So I'm beginning the repeat again. So I'm working 3 double crochet into the next stitch. 1, 2, and 3, half double crochet into the next stitch. We're going to skip the next stitch and work a front post double crochet around the post of that front post double crochet. And then we're going to skip the last stitch. So you just don't finish with a half double crochet. Once you skip that next stitch, you're back over to your beginning chain. So now we're going to join. So we're skipping the last stitch and count up to the top of that beginning chain 2. 1, 2, insert your hook, slip stitch through that chain and through the loop on your hook. Round 5 is finished. And you can see that texture from those front post double crochets. For round 6, we are going to slip stitch into the next stitch. So we're going to skip the joining stitch, insert into the top of the next stitch, and then slip stitch through that stitch and through the loop on your hook. We're going to chain 2, which counts as the first half double crochet. Then we're going to work a large cluster, and that means we're going to work 5 double crochet into the top of this next stitch. Yarn over, insert into the top of that stitch, work 5 double crochet all into the same stitch. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you have 5 double crochet all into the same stitch. We're going to half double crochet into the next stitch. We're going to skip the next stitch. You're going to yarn over, insert from front to back, back to front around the post of that front post double crochet. You're going to yarn over, pull underneath and around, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. We just made our front post double crochet. We're going to skip the next half double crochet and half double crochet into the next double crochet stitch. And that is the end of the repeat. So the repeat starts when we work the 5 double crochet. So let's do the repeat again. You're going to go to the next stitch and work 5 double crochet into the top of that next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to half double crochet into the top of the next stitch. We're going to skip the next stitch and work a front post double crochet around the post of that next front post double crochet. You're going to skip the next stitch and half double crochet into the next stitch. And that is the end of the repeat. And you can see how your repeat is forming. We're always working our front post double crochet in the front post double crochet in the previous row. So let's do the repeat one more time together. Into the next stitch, we're starting the repeat with 5 double crochet. Going under the top 2 loops, work 5 double crochet all into that same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to half double crochet into the next stitch. You're going to skip this next stitch and work a front post double crochet around the post of this next front post double crochet. You're going to skip this next stitch and work a half double crochet into the next stitch. And that is the end of the repeat. So go ahead and continue, start your repeat into the next stitch by working 5 double crochet. Half double crochet into the next stitch. You're going to skip the next stitch, front post double crochet around the post of this next front post double crochet, and then you're going to skip the next stitch and half double crochet into the next stitch. If you need additional help, just click back on the video, repeat that around, and I'll meet you at the end of the round. I'm over at the end of round 6. We're ending with the partial repeat. I worked my front post double crochet, and now we're going to skip this next stitch, and we're going to join in the top of that beginning chain 2. Count up 1, 2, insert into the top of that beginning chain 2, yarn over, pull through that chain, and pull through the loop on your hook. Round 6 is finished, and this is what your work should look like. Now we're ready to begin round 7. To begin round 7, we are going to slip stitch into the next stitch. So we are skipping the joining stitch. You're going to go over to the next stitch, insert your hook into the top of that stitch, yarn over, pull through that stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. You're going to chain 2. This beginning chain 2 counts as the first half double crochet. We're going to start our repeat into this next stitch with 3 double crochet. We are working the small cluster. So yarn over, insert into the top of the next stitch, work 3 double crochet all into that same stitch. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to double crochet into the top of the next stitch. Into the next stitch, we're going to work a small cluster of 3 double crochet all into the same stitch. 1, 2, and 3. So when you look at your work, you're going to have your beginning chain 2, 3 double crochet into the next stitch, 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and then 3 double crochet into the next stitch, forming that arch. We're going to half double crochet into the top of the next stitch. You're going to skip this next stitch and work a front post double crochet around the post of that next front post double crochet stitch. You're going to skip the next stitch and half double crochet into the top of the next stitch. And that is the end of the repeat. So let's do the repeat again. We start the repeat with a small cluster of 3 double crochet all into that next stitch. 1, 2, and 3. You're going to double crochet into the top of the next stitch, then work a small cluster of 3 double crochet into the next stitch. 1, 2, and 3. You're going to half double crochet into the next stitch, skip the next stitch, and front post double crochet around the next front post double crochet stitch. You're going to skip the next stitch and half double crochet into the top of the next stitch. And that is the end of the repeat, and you can see how your pattern is forming. So let's do the repeat one more time together. Into the next stitch, we start the repeat with a small cluster of 3 double crochet all into that same stitch. 1, 2, and 3. Double crochet into the next stitch. Then we're going to work 3 double crochet into the top of the next stitch. 1, 2, and 3. Half double crochet into the top of the next stitch. You're going to skip the next stitch and work a front post double crochet around the post of the next front post double crochet. You're going to skip the next stitch and half double crochet into the top of the next stitch. And that is the end of the repeat. So go ahead and continue. If you need additional help, just click back on the video. I'll meet you at the end of round 7. I'm over at the end of round 7. We just worked our repeat around. The last repeat, you are going to end with your front post double crochet around the front post double crochet. You have 1 stitch remaining, and we're going to skip that stitch, and you're going to come up and join in the top of that beginning chain 2. Count up 1, 2, insert into that top chain, yarn over, pull through that chain, and pull through the loop on your hook. So round 7 is finished. Now rounds 1 through 7 are our base rounds, and now we're going to begin our repeat rounds. Rounds 8, 9, and 10 are the rounds you'll repeat over and over to form your blanket. So let's go ahead and begin round 8. So to begin round 8, we are going to skip this joining stitch, and we're going to slip stitch into the top of this next stitch. Then we're going to chain 2 to count as the first half double crochet. Now we're going to start the repeat where it tells us to double crochet in each double crochet to the center double crochet. So if it's easier, just go ahead and put a stitch marker in the center of each petal around to help you if that's easier. So again, we're going to double crochet in each double crochet to the center double crochet. Double crochet into the next stitch, double crochet into the next stitch. So it only took 2 stitches to get to the center double crochet. So now we're going to work the small cluster, and we're going to work 3 double crochet into that center double crochet stitch. 1, 2, and 3. So when you look at your work, all 3 double crochets should be into that single double crochet between the 3 double crochet groups below. Now it says double crochet in each double crochet until you have 2 stitches before the front post double crochet. So here are the 2 stitches before the front post double crochet. So then you have 2 stitches up here. So we need to double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. Double crochet into the next stitch. Double crochet into the next stitch. We're going to half double crochet into the next stitch. We're going to skip the next half double crochet, and we're going to work a front post double crochet around the post of that front post double crochet. You're going to skip the next half double crochet and half double crochet into the next stitch. And that is the end of the repeat. So your repeat starts after you make the first half double crochet into the next petal. So now remember, with round 8 and 9 and 10, every time you do those repeat rounds, you're going to have more and more stitches. So let's go ahead and do the repeat again. We're going to double crochet in each stitch until we get to the center stitch of that petal. Double crochet into the next stitch. Double crochet into the next stitch. And then as you're working, keep double crocheting until you come to that center stitch. So we're already at our center stitch, so now we're going to work 3 double crochet into the center stitch of the petal. 1, 2, and 3. Now it tells us to double crochet in each stitch until you come within 2 stitches before that front post double crochet. So double crochet into the next stitch, double crochet into the next stitch, and then always look at your work, and then you're going to see we have 2 stitches remaining, then the front post double crochet. So you're going to half double crochet into the next stitch. You're going to skip this half double crochet and work a front post double crochet around the post of that next front post double crochet. You're going to skip the next half double crochet and work a half double crochet into the next double crochet stitch. And that is the end of the repeat. So let's do the repeat one more time together. Again, it says double crochet in each stitch until you get to the center stitch of the petal. Double crochet into the next stitch. Double crochet into the next stitch. Then we're already at our center stitch, so we're going to work 3 double crochet into the center stitch of that petal. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to double crochet in each stitch across until we have 2 stitches before that front post double crochet. Double crochet into the next stitch. Double crochet into the next stitch. And then when you look at your work, you're going to have 2 stitches and then your front post double crochet. We're going to half double crochet into the next stitch. You're going to skip the next stitch and work a front post double crochet around the post of that front post double crochet. You're going to skip the next half double crochet and work a half double crochet into the top of the next stitch. And that is the end of the repeat. If you need additional help, just click back on the video, repeat that around, and I'll meet you at the end of round 8. So remember, as you're clicking back on the video when you need help, when you're repeating rounds 8, 9, and 10, you're going to have more and more stitches until you reach that center stitch. So again, go ahead and continue, and I'll meet you at the end of round 8. I'm over at the end of round 8. This is what our work should look like. And again, I'm so sorry this purple's a little darker than I thought to film with, so I hope you're seeing the stitches okay. So now when we get to the end of round 8, you are ending with your front post double crochet, and we have 1 stitch remaining. We're going to join at the top of this beginning chain 2. Count up 1, 2, insert your hook into the top chain, and then slip stitch through that chain and through the loop on your hook. Round 8 is finished. Now we're ready to begin round 9. To begin round 9, it's telling us to slip stitch into the next stitch. So we are skipping this joining stitch, insert into the top of the next stitch, and slip stitch through that stitch and through the loop on your hook. You're going to chain 2, and this chain 2 counts as the first half double crochet. Now we're going to begin our repeat. We're going to double crochet in each stitch until we get to the center stitch. So if it's easier for you to use a stitch marker, look at your work, and for this round, your center stitch is the center double crochet of the 3 double crochet group, where you have all 3 double crochet into the same stitch. This is the center, so you want to go into that center stitch. So my suggestion is, if you're new, just place stitch markers in the center stitch of each petal around so you don't make a mistake. So let's begin. Double crochet into the next stitch, double crochet into the next stitch. And again, each time you repeat these repeat rounds, you're going to have more and more stitches. So when I look at my work, I have my 3 double crochet. I just worked in this one. This is the center one. So this is where we're going to work 5 double crochet. Yarn over, insert into that center stitch of the petal, work 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to work 1 double crochet in each stitch until we're 2 stitches before the front post double crochet. So here's your front post double crochet, and you want to crochet over until you have 2 stitches before this front post stitch. So when I look at my work, we only have 2 stitches, so we're going to double crochet into the next 2 stitches. Yarn over, insert into that next stitch, work a double crochet, and then double crochet into the next stitch. And I have to keep repeating myself about every time you repeat these repeat rounds, you're going to have more and more stitches in your petal. So just keep that in mind as you're watching these rounds. If you have to click back to refer how to do it, you're just going to have more stitches than what this round's showing. So we have 2 stitches before the front post stitch, so we're going to work a half double crochet into the next stitch. You're going to skip this next half double crochet and work a front post double crochet around the front post double crochet stitch. You're going to skip this next half double crochet and work a half double crochet into the next stitch. And that is the end of the repeat. Let's do the repeat one more time together. So let's do the repeat again. Again, we're going to double crochet until we get to the center double crochet of the petal. Double crochet into the next stitch. Double crochet into the next stitch. And then just look at your work, and you're going to look for the 3 double crochet that's in the same stitch. We already worked in the first one, so the center stitch is the center double crochet of this 3 double crochet group. So into that center stitch, we're going to work 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to work 1 double crochet in each stitch until we have 2 stitches before the front post double crochet. So double crochet into the next stitch, double crochet into the next stitch. And then you just want to keep looking at your work until you have 2 stitches before the front post double crochet. Then you're going to half double crochet into the next stitch, skip the next stitch, front post double crochet around the post of that next front post double crochet stitch. You're going to skip the next stitch and half double crochet into the next stitch. And that is the end of the repeat, and you can see how your pattern is forming. So let's do it one more time together. We're going to work 1 double crochet in each stitch until you get to the center stitch of the petal. Double crochet into the next stitch, double crochet into the next stitch. And then just keep looking at your work, because every time you do these repeat rounds, you're going to have more stitches. Then you want to look for the center stitch, which is the center double crochet of this 3 double crochet group. Into that center stitch, work 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you're going to work 1 double crochet in each stitch until you have 2 stitches before that front post double crochet stitch. Double crochet into the next stitch. Double crochet into the next stitch. And again, I'm repeating myself a lot. As you repeat these repeat rounds, you're going to have more stitches. So you just keep working until you have 2 stitches before that front post double crochet. You're going to half double crochet into the next stitch. You're going to skip the next stitch, front post double crochet around that next front post double crochet stitch, skip the next stitch, and half double crochet into the next stitch. And that is the end of the repeat. So if you need additional help, just click back on the video, repeat that around, and I'll meet you at the end of round 9. I'm over at the end of round 9. This is what your work should look like. Now, I forgot to mention we should have 10 petals, and we will keep having 10 petals throughout this design. So when you get to the end of round 9, you end with the front post double crochet around the front post double crochet. We're going to skip this next stitch and come up to the top of that beginning chain 2, count up 1, 2, insert into that top chain, slip stitch through that chain and through the loop on your hook. Round 9 is finished. Now we're ready to begin round 10. To begin round 10, it's telling us to slip stitch into the next stitch. So we're skipping the joining stitch. We're going to insert into the next stitch and slip stitch through that stitch and through the loop on your hook. You're going to chain 2, and this beginning chain 2 counts as the first half double crochet. Now we're going to work 1 double crochet in each stitch until we're 1 stitch before the center stitch. So you want to find your center stitch. You have 5 double crochet here in the center. This is the center stitch. So you want to crochet over until you have 1 stitch before the center. So what I like to do is just count my stitches. I see 1, 2. So we're going to work 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. Double crochet into the next stitch. Double crochet into the next stitch. And again, as you're repeating rounds 8 through 10, you're going to have more and more stitches in your petal. So what you want to do is just look for that center stitch and then 1 stitch before the center. Then we're going to work 3 double crochet or a small cluster in this next stitch. Yarn over, insert into the next stitch, and work 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Into the center stitch, you're going to work 1 double crochet. Then we're going to work a small cluster into the next stitch of 3 double crochet. Yarn over, insert into the next stitch, work 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to work 1 double crochet until we have 2 stitches from that front post double crochet. Double crochet into the next stitch, double crochet into the next stitch. And then look at your work and look until you have 2 stitches from the front post double crochet. We're going to half double crochet into the next stitch. We're going to skip the next stitch and work a front post double crochet around the post of this next stitch. You're going to skip the next stitch and half double crochet into the next stitch. And that is the end of the repeat. Let's do the repeat again. We're going to work 1 double crochet in each stitch until we're 1 stitch from that center double crochet of that 5 double crochet group. Double crochet into the next stitch, double crochet into the next stitch. Then you want to look at your work, find that center double crochet. You have 5 double crochets, find the center double crochet, and then you want to be 1 stitch from the center stitch. We're going to work 3 double crochet or a small cluster in that next stitch. 1, 2, and 3. Then into the center stitch of the petal, the center stitch of the 5 double crochet group, work 1 double crochet. Into the next stitch, work 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to work 1 double crochet across until we have 2 stitches from that next front post double crochet. Double crochet into the next stitch, double crochet into the next stitch, and keep double crocheting until you have 2 stitches from that front post double crochet. Then you're going to half double crochet into the next stitch. You're going to skip the next stitch and front post double crochet around the post of that front post double crochet. You're going to skip the next stitch and half double crochet into the next stitch. And that is the end of the repeat, and you can see how your pattern is forming. So if you need additional help, just click back on the video, repeat that around, and I'll meet you at the end of round 10. So I'm over at the end of round 10. This is what your work is going to look like, and now we're ready to join. When you get to the end of the round, you're ending with your front post double crochet around the front post double crochet. You have 1 stitch remaining. We're going to skip that stitch and we're going to count up to the top of that beginning chain 2. Count up 1, 2, insert your hook into the top chain, slip stitch through that chain and through the loop on your hook. Now for this pattern, you're going to repeat rounds 8, 9, and 10. Now my suggestion is to get 10 stitch markers, place a stitch marker in the center stitch of each petal before you do the next round, and then move those stitch markers up as you repeat each round. It just makes it easier for new crocheters to know exactly where to put your stitches. If you put your stitches in the wrong place, then your flower is going to be distorted. Now, I did want to bring to your attention, they do have a chart. So if you do not like to read instructions, but you prefer to follow a chart, then you can use the diagram that they have with this pattern. And again, this is a free pattern on Premier's website. So to continue working on your blanket, the instructions tell us to repeat rounds 8 through 10 until the blanket diameter measures 56 inches. Now, if you want to make this blanket larger, of course you can. You just repeat rounds 8 through 10 to the size you desired. If you want to make it larger, then you're going to need more yarn. So I'm going to continue and I'm going to work until my blanket measures 56 inches. So again, repeat round 8 through 10 until your blanket measures 56 inches. I'll meet you when I get to 56 inches. I'm back. I'm actually at 59 inches, so I am finished with my blanket. So I'm just going to fasten off. I chain 2, pull my hook up, yarn out, grab, pinch, and pull down. Now the instructions tell you to crochet rounds 8 and 10 until you measure 56 inches. I had yarn left over, so I was actually able to crochet to 59 inches. I don't think this is enough to do 3 more rounds because it tells you to end on round 10, and I know it's not going to give you 3 more rounds because of how big it is on the outside of the blanket. So I'm just going to weave in my ends, and then I'll be back and I'll show you the finished blanket. So our blanket is finished. Now it's pretty big. I'm going to try to get the whole thing in the viewfinder. This is the Blooming Flower blanket pattern by Premier, made with the hide and seek, the color purple in the puzzle yarn. So look how pretty. This measures 59 inches in diameter. I made it a little bit bigger than what the pattern said. Now Premier has many different beautiful colors available in the puzzle yarn. You're going to need only 5 skeins of yarn to make this beautiful blanket. So if you enjoyed today's crochet tutorial, please make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the crochet fun here on Creative Grandma's channel. So until next time, stay inspired and happy crocheting. Bye everyone.